I'm missing my assistant today. My buddy's seat's empty. I'm missing her. Wish she was riding with me today. I know she's glad to get back in her own cab because it can get kind of cramped in here. This little old buddy seat over here ain't too awful comfortable. We're coming up to an area where I got concerns, especially getting the cotton back across this ditch right here, because we only got, I don't know, probably about 24 inches clearance between the rear of the bottom of the module and the ground. And coming through this dip in the creek, I mean, the last thing we want to do is drag the bottom of that module across these rocks and cut that plastic. So it's going to be really tricky for Kelly to come across with those modules and keep them in one piece. I do believe this last field on Clinton might be better than the big bottom, even though we do have a big area right out there that don't have a stand. But where we do have the cotton, it's going to be good. Alright, I'm going to try and talk while forming this first module. I'm going to keep my foot on my accumulator button here so we don't choke it up. But we got about 12, 13 acres left here on Clanton, and then we'll be moving over there to the Fisher farm. We got about 33, 34 acres over there to pick of cotton that we were able to keep and didn't have to replant back to soybeans. And then I think that might be all the cotton picking we do for a couple of days. Me and Andy stopped by some of our later cotton, our replanted cotton today that we defoliated 7 days ago today. And in reality, it needs a couple more days on it to open up. It's got a few more bolls that are trying to pop, and we need to get all the cotton that we can. And then I checked the forecast, and we got a really good clear forecast for the next 7 days. I think we got a 20% chance of rain one day, but other than that, dry and sunny. So I don't think there's going to be any risk in stopping this cotton picker for a couple of days. And besides, I mean, we got plenty of other stuff we can do. And one of the things I really wanted to do this year and thought I was going to have an opportunity to do was to start planting wheat earlier than what I normally do. Ever since I've been doing YouTube, I think pretty much every year I've had later wheat than what I like, but it was just due to the nature of we can't plant wheat until we get cotton harvested. And cotton seems like it's been getting later and later each year. And I was hoping with this module picker, we'd at least be able to get our cotton harvested quicker and you'll be able to start planting sooner. And it happened a little bit last year, but we had so many growing pains with this picker. We only got done maybe 2 to 3 days earlier than what we normally would. So really didn't have any early planted wheat last year, and it showed in the yields. Wheat just did not have enough time to tiller out good. But this year, I mean, we're running relatively smoothly. We got started picking a little bit earlier than we did last year. And we're going to have a break here of probably at least a couple of days waiting on the last half of our cotton to open up. And we're going to take advantage of that. And we'll probably get close to half of our wheat crop planted in 2 days is what my plan is. I'm really excited about that because it's been a while since I've had any October planted wheat, but anytime I've had it, it's done good. So we're going to take advantage of that opportunity this year. So anyway, this morning I had to scramble around and get our wheat seed lined up, get it treated, get it hauled out there to the gin. Helena is our partner on wheat seed, and even though we save our own seed. It's stored and treated at Helena, and they're gracious enough to let me use one of their fertilizer tenders to have on site that we can fill our seed tender up with. So they're in the process of getting one of their fertilizer tenders loaded up with about 600 bushels of wheat, and that'll be enough to run us for a couple of days. So anyway, hopefully it's going to be a pretty easy day. A little less than 50 acres of cotton to pick today, even though we got to change farms and move all the way back to Crockett County. I'm hoping it's not going to be a late night tonight, because I know for the next 2 nights it is going to be a late night trying to get this wheat planted as quickly as we can. Well, I'm missing my assistant today. My buddy's seat's empty. I'm missing her. Wish she was riding with me today. We haven't had to get out and do anything. You know, even though we work together, I mean, we see each other a lot. I mean, a lot of times, you know, we're doing our own separate things, so we really don't actually see very much of each other and talk very much to each other, because, I mean, we're at work, you know, 12 to 15 hours a day doing our separate things. Then we go home, all we want to do is eat, take a shower, and sleep. You know, a lot of times I'm on the computer downloading footage or making a video or uploading a video. We just don't have a whole lot of time just to talk about stuff. Even though I'm not a big talker and I don't have to talk very much, it was nice to spend a couple days with her in the cab and have conversations with her. But anyway, she's back on the marshmallow mover today. Andy's cutting stalks because Grandpa had some things to do this morning, can't be out here. So anyway, she's able to be back on that tractor because my knee is feeling a whole lot better. Definitely not 100%, but I can bend it without very much pain, and I think I can get up and down off the picker pretty reasonably well today if I need to. So I know she's glad to get back in her own cab, because it can get kind of cramped in here. The cab on this John Deere picker is definitely not the biggest in the world, definitely not near as big as the one on my combine, and this little old buddy seat over here ain't too awful comfortable.
So after riding with Matt for a solid 2 days, I am back to my job, and very grateful to be in a cab with a lot of space. Riding in that buddy seat, as tall as I am and tall as he is, it's not fun. Also, that air conditioning really doesn't work well, or we need to like tint the side windows. It gets really hot in there. Also, it's very hot for October. It is in the 80s here. I am not complaining, I'm loving it, but it's very unusual. I learned a lot about the picker. I actually ran the picker a couple times while Matt flew the drone, and I learned all the ins and outs. I also got off that thing 12 times, or maybe 14, I don't remember, but I stopped counting, and it's rough. Especially when you have to climb down the stairs, up the stairs, get down, and it's such a dirty job. You know, it's so dusty out here. We haven't had rain since October 2nd. It's now October 23rd. It's just dry, and we don't need rain, but at the same time, I would like a little bit of rain to knock all this dust down. I mean, it is bad. It's caked on there. It's also caked in our lungs. So we're about to get this farm done, and then we're gonna move back closer to the house. So last night, while I took Andy and picked up Carter to go move the chicken spreader and the loader tractor, Matt dumped 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5. And I'm gonna put them closer now. Andy put them in that backfield over there because we're about to go across this awesome ditch, and I want to be closer just because it's a long trek across everything. Also, the ground is as hard as concrete. I really don't know how we're gonna plant wheat into this, but I guess we're gonna figure that out. So another beautiful day. Look at that, gorgeous. With the drought though, I really don't think we're gonna see the colors in the trees this year, and that's kind of depressing. You really want fall to be, you know, a little cool, and you want all the beautiful trees to turn certain colors. It just looks brown. So we're gonna have a brown, probably a brown tree fall? Is that what you call it? So I've got a lot of questions on my Instagram, and I know a lot of people don't follow me that watch the YouTube on Instagram, but asking me every day, like, how do you do it all? Caffeine and dreams, baby. That's it. Caffeine and dreams. A dream to get done before Thanksgiving. Originally, we were going to be having a massive remodel on our house, and due to Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, my parents are not leaving for Florida again. Just after they got everything, you know, done, and they were supposed to be back in their place November 5th. Well, after the election, actually. And now they're not going to be. It looks like December. So I have pushed our remodel off. We are supposed to be gutting our bathrooms in my office that we've been saving for the past 5 years. And the hurricanes have messed that all up. So now we are remodeling in December, and I'm extremely grateful for our contractor. A lot of people did not want to, you know, tackle the fact that we have to have a specialty bathroom made because our house was built in 1905. So now it's December, and my parents are supposed to leave in December, so that way we can go use their shower and their potties because we're not gonna have it. So my dream is that the shower's done before Christmas. Ty has told me he could do it, so even if I have to put up a curtain where we have to use the bathroom, that's what we'll do. So I've been trying to handle that, get the materials for that bought, because stuff is still very pricey and going up. On top of the fact that I'm organizing a farmer cruise in January. We're trying to get all the ins and outs done before final payment. We have more people wanting to join, which if anybody wants to join us, you are more than welcome. Just ask us for some information. It's gonna be a good time. It's a vacation. Like-minded people in this awesome lifestyle that we have a little bit of side of insanity of. Yeah, so I'm doing it on caffeine and dreams. That's it.
How much difficulty are you having getting across that creek with those modules and scraping rocks?
I mean, I'm trying, but I scraped the first one.
Did it have any problem ripping the plastic?
Yeah, I did.
I just said the picker to make a smaller diameter module, so hopefully it'll be a little bit lighter, and that 3-point hitch will go up all the way with them. Well, crap, I was kind of worried about that, but it didn't come apart, so she got it to where the stack is. You know, as long as it makes it to the stack, you know, module truck can pick it up. If the plastic's ripped a little bit, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, what I was talking about was I lowered the target size on these modules to 91 inches. You know, the maximum module size that this picker is capable of making is 93 inches. So taking a couple inches should lessen the weight on it a little bit. Our tractor doesn't have a problem picking up the modules, but it does have a problem going all the way up to the full height. So hopefully by lessening the weight on it, you know, just a little bit, that 3-point hitch will be able to pick those modules all the way up and prevent scraping on the ground. Now the newer cotton pickers can actually make a bigger module. The CP690s, I think, maybe, I don't know, maybe they can make up to like a 95 or 96 inch module, and then like the newest, the CP, I think the CP790s or 770s. Anyway, the very newest module pickers, they can make an even bigger module than that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the modules we're making, they typically weigh somewhere around 5,000 pounds, maybe a little over. I can't remember exactly what they was weighing last year, but you know, taking a couple inches off of them should lighten the load by a few hundred pounds. All right, we got done over here on this farm. Andy got a bunch of modules stacked over here. Kelly got a few more stacked over here. I think she's picking up the last one or two I got in the field, and then I hauled a monster one here across the creek. Gonna drop it here. So Gonna eat a quick bite of lunch and make our way on over to Fisher Farm, try and get that 34 acres knocked out. I also want to give you a view of our cover crop. It kind of suffered a little bit in this dry weather we got, but it come up to a really good stand for the most part. Some of our low and lying areas around the field that we planted before the second hurricane hit, we got a pretty thin stand in, you know, where the water runs and low lying places where it just stayed wet too long. But overall, for the most part, it looks really good. We got marshmallows, they got marshmallows. Marshmallows everywhere here in Crockett and Madison County. I believe that's my neighbor, the Shope's Cotton, right there. They got quite a few stacks of modules there. Of course, I think that's a fairly decent sized farm across the road. But you want to see what fall looks like in West Tennessee? You're looking at it right there. I'm ready to get some of that yellow wrap back in my picker. I know the pink wrap is for an awesome cause, and I fully support it, but I don't much care for the color pink. I can't wait to get some of that yellow wrap back in my picker. We got a pallet of wrap. We got a pallet of pink and a pallet of wrap this year, so we're running through that pink wrap, and then we'll go back to yellow here at some point this harvest. That right there is a farm where we had some replanted cotton on the inrows right here closest to the road. It might be hard to tell from the camera, but there's definitely a few bowls out there that still haven't opened up. Out there in the middle of the field is non-replanted cotton, and it's ready to pick, but about the 20 acres of replant up there still needs a couple more days. And then the other 3 farms that we replanted, you know, they looks about the same as that. Another 2 to 3 days, it ought to be ready to go, especially with the warm temperatures we got. It's definitely warmed back up the last couple of days. Now the 7-8 days prior to this, it's definitely been very cool, especially at night. I mean, it's gotten down in the 40s at night, and the foliage just don't work all that quick in cold temperatures like that, so take it just a little bit longer to get ready to pick than what it normally would. But you get in October, I mean, that's the kind of weather you get. Over here we got a different variety than what y'all been seeing. We got Delta Pine 2115. It was an excellent yielder for us last year, and at least in this part of the field, it's up there on par with Phytogen 360 this year. Doesn't look as good, like I've said all year long. It's an ugly variety. Does not impress you. Think you're never going to plant it again until you get that ticket back from the gin that shows what it actually yielded. And I'm hoping it's correct again this year. Oh my gosh, look at that armadillo hole. Anyway, this was defoliated 9 days ago, and realistically, and definitely in parts of the field, like right over in here, you know, it would not hurt to give it another few days. But I think the majority of what's not opened up is probably immature bolls that are just not going to open up no matter what. And when it comes to cotton harvest, that can sometimes be a tough call, whether to go ahead and harvest it or wait and see if more of the crop is going to become harvestable at some point. And when you get late October, like what we are now, you know, we're getting into late October, bad weather's, cold weather's is right around the corner. You know, that's a tough call to make. You know, this is farther along than what my replanted cotton is, but it's also had another 2 days to open up. And you know, would another 2 days make much of a difference on this farm? Maybe a little, but you know, it's really a hard call. So anyway, it's only a few small places in the field where it looks like this. The rest of it's definitely ready to pick. But anyway, we crossed the halfway point of cotton harvest towards the end of yesterday, so we're definitely getting on the home stretch here, and you know, considering how slow going we had getting started working through some gremlins, I'm hoping the second half goes a little bit quicker than what the first half did. Of course, like I said, we're gonna have at least a 2, maybe 3 day break before we get started back after today, but hopefully once we get started back we can get on through it pretty quickly, finish the rest of our wheat planting in a couple days, then get turned to double crop soybeans and hopefully get them wrapped up in a few days. You know, I know we've got excellent weather for the next 7 days, but you know, after that, who knows? We've had, ever since Hurricane Helene moved out, we have had absolutely beautiful harvest weather. It's been picture perfect. It could not have been any better, and I'd hate to think of where we would be at if we hadn't had all that good dry weather. Hopefully it'll hang around just a little bit longer, enough for us to get done. However, I know in some parts of the country, and I mean, we're probably right there with them, I mean, it's getting bad dry. I think we still got a little bit of moisture in the soil left over from the hurricane, but I know other parts of like the Midwest, Ohio, you know, parts of Tennessee, it is absolutely bone dry. Been really good harvest weather, but for guys trying to get fall work done, you know, applying anhydrous, doing some ripping, planting wheat, other fall seeded crops, you know, when there's absolutely no moisture in the soil, it gets a whole lot harder. All right, we just made it over here to this convoluted mess where I you know, kind of spot planted soybeans in amongst the cotton here, so I'll certainly be glad to see this picked and these stalks mowed. Now, I don't expect any big yields from this part of the farm at all. We had some go on with this farm, and my Cotton Scout and I talked about it quite a bit, but got two different opinions. When I was out here like midsummer scouting it, I mean, I was astonished by the amount of aborted fruit on these plants out here, you know, where we had a square, but then the plant kicked it off. And my first thought was we had a lot of insect damage for whatever reason, even though, you know, we sprayed this one on the same cycle as all the rest of them. And you know, insect damage was always a possibility, but what my Cotton Scout thinks, and it probably makes a little bit more sense, is that I was a little too early with my herbicide application with a hooded sprayer. You know, if you recall, my hooded sprayer's got nozzles that also spray up under the row, and herbicide will actually hit the stalk of the cotton. And normally that doesn't affect the cotton as long as the cotton's far enough along that the stem, the stalk of the plant, has started getting pretty woody there around the base where the spray would hit. And he thinks that maybe I hit this cotton a few days too early with my herbicide, and that caused enough injury to the plant that it started kicking off a lot of the lowest hanging fruit, you know, the one that really contributes to yield. So I mean, looking at it, you know, it looks like it recovered and, you know, filled out pretty nicely, but I'm definitely expecting some down yields over here. Well, guys, I got some really exciting news for y'all. Well, might not be exciting for y'all, it's pretty dang exciting for me though, but just got done looking over a contract with a representative of a company. Not going to mention the name just yet, but it's looking like it's almost a sure deal that there's going to be a very exciting piece of technology and equipment on our farm next year. If you've been watching our videos all year, you might have noticed me and Andy gawking over a certain piece of equipment at some point this past year, you know, thinking, you know, there's no way we'll ever be able to see one of those on our farm. Well, looking like we just might get to see it on our farm in 2025. Yeah, one of my roommates in college at the fraternity house we were in, he used to work for Bayer, but anyway, he's come to work for this particular company, at least in the near term, and he's kind of in charge of research on this product, trying to improve it, you know, kind of work out all the bugs and any potential gremlins on it to, you know, make it, you know, to make it do exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And this company's going to bring the equipment over here to our farm, and basically they want to use our farm as a place to work out of, a place to store the equipment, you know, use some of our fields for testing and refinement purposes. And naturally I was all for it because I'm extremely excited about it, and to be able to get a first-hand look at it, and also, you know, potentially participate in improving the product, and, you know, giving my input on, you know, what they can do to make the product, you know, better and more successful, is a really exciting opportunity for us, and really looking forward to it. So I know I may be limited exactly what I can put out on social media about it, because like I said, we are doing it strictly for research purposes. It's not a demo. It's not a loaner, you know, piece of equipment or anything like that. So I'll probably be limited on what I can actually put out, but I think it's going to be exciting. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to show y'all what it is and how it works, and hopefully just how successful it is operating in the field. This cotton is definitely picking pretty scrappy. You know, a lot of these top bowls are a little immature, really needed another week or two. And you know, the top bowls, a lot of the top bowls are kind of knotty, and spindles are kind of grabbing it and getting some of the cotton, but then stringing the rest of the cotton out. So but I don't think that there's definitely enough to justify going back there and picking it a second time. Not with as much as it costs to run this baler picker, that's for dang sure. But I tell you what is nice, just going up here and turning it around, you know, all I have to do is pick the straight rows. We're not having to pick any end rows or anything over here. That is one nice thing about this. Well, we just got done with the farm, got the picker moved back to the shop. Andy's still out there spread. I'm about to go back, help him load, try and get that finished up, because I'm gonna need his tractor tomorrow, hook up to the drill, get started playing weed. But look at that farm. It did a little bit better than what I thought it would. Still, it didn't do great, but still better than what I thought it would. And then all of this is what I picked second that I thought was either damaged by herbicide or we had problems with insects. As you can tell, you know, it definitely did worse than that other field across the creek. And then, of course, you see where all the beans were right there. But overall, that farm is done, and I'm glad of it. I ain't got to look at it no more. So anyway, we're going to try and get things wrapped up tonight, and be ready for a long day drilling some wheat tomorrow. See you then.